Restoration, when it's properly done, depends more on people's behavior than their belief. Hi, this is Barry Phelps with 10-Minute Torah, Day 3 in Miqqetz. At the end, let's go to Bereshit, or Genesis, chapter 42, down to verse 14 and following. And we read, "And Joseph said to them," that is to his brothers, "It is as I have spoke to you, you are spies. By this you shall be proven. By the life of Pharaoh, you do not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of you, and let him bring your brother, lest while you are kept in prison, so that your words be proved to see whether there is any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh you are spies." He put them all together in prison for 3 days. Now Joseph said to them the third day, "Do this and live, for I fear Elohim. If you are trustworthy, let one of your brothers be confined to your prison house, and you go bring grain for the scarcity of food to your houses, and bring your youngest brother to me, and let your words be confirmed, and you do not die." And so they did. So Joseph is hatching this strategic plan to prove the validity and the authenticity of change in his brother's behavior. They look the same. He recognizes them, but have they changed? Given the opportunity, would they get rid of him all over again? These are questions he has to answer before he knows whether he can trust them and allow any restoration to take place. It is not a good idea, and I have found this myself personally, to have a situation where there is a violation of trust, and it goes on for a little while, and then the offending party comes with their hand stuck out, saying, "I'm sorry, let's just forget it." It's hard to go right back into a trusting level relationship when there's no mention of the previous offense, no working out of what actually happened, no real dealing with issues. It's just, "I'm sorry, let's be friends again." Chances are the offense or the nature of the offense will reappear, and you'll have to start all over again. At some point, when trust has been violated numerous times, there is no rebuilding of trust. You may forgive, you may release, but to have a trusting relationship again could be extremely difficult, if even possible. So let's keep this in mind. At the root of all things is Yah's overarching plan for all of the ages. We may not see and recognize that our day-to-day routine, that our community involvement, that our congregational relationships, that our internet relationships, that they have any more impact on the world than just, well, it's what's good for me. But you, at your best, influencing others that are around you, it does have the ripple effect of people's lives are affected by your chosen behavior, whether that is I'm in a good place and I relate well, or I'm not in a good place and I'm having trouble relating at all. I'm not trying to put undue pressure on anyone, but just know and understand that your world is bigger than you yourself. And the way that we engage with those that are around us does have an ongoing ripple effect. It helps people relate better with someone else. Again, it comes down to behavior. Now, belief is important. Going for truth and knowing what the truth is, all of that's vital and is very, very important. I get that. But I can disagree with you with me, over some variety of issues, But that doesn't mean that we have to throw barbs and bombs at one another, that we can actually understand, okay, you see it this way, I see it that way. Let's talk about what we do agree on and have righteous behavior demonstrated between us. That's vitally important, because the body of Mashiach is never going to come unto a single consensus on all scriptural discussions until Mashiach Yeshua appears again, bringing his kingdom, and teaches us the final verdict on all of these things, and then teaches us things that we never even considered. How foolish it might seem when we stand before him and hear what is absolutely the truth on questions that we've disagreed with others over for generations, and we realize I cut people off because of my firmly held belief, even though they were willing to relate to me righteously. And I was wrong all along? Really? So Joseph looks at his brothers and he wonders, can he trust their behavior? Can he trust them at all? And he might be saying to them, okay, you're hungry. Now you come. And now you're in my arena. Where have you been for 22 years? Where have you been? I've been here going through all of my processes of refinement, and you were nowhere to be found, and now you're hungry. Bless your heart. Let me see that food sack you got there. Let's put a little grain in it. Maybe you go home to your daddy. I'm sure that he was feeling a little sarcastic. Maybe he was feeling a little vengeful. Maybe he was angry. Maybe he was furious. Who knows? What I do know is it says that he put them in prison together for 3 days. Now, you know that was some interesting conversations going on. Matter of fact, it's spelled out after where we stopped off. They said to each other in verse 21, truly we are guilty concerning our brother, for we saw the distress of his life when he pleaded with us. We didn't listen. And that's now why this distress has come upon us. They were blaming famine on their own actions. Reuben said, did I not speak to you, saying, do not sin against the boy? And you wouldn't listen. Now his blood is required of us. It's your fault. No, it's your fault. 3 days. It makes me wonder if Joseph didn't spend 3 days in the pit before the Midianites pulled him out. He left them in there 3 days. Let's understand this. When you're dealing with a desired restoration of broken relationships, then it's best not to try to fix things, discuss things, go after things until the emotions and passions have subsided. When you're hot, angry, when you're filled with this overwhelming style of emotion, you're probably not going to speak wisely, and you're probably not going to hear clearly. You have to get to a place where you can kind of calm down and catch your breath and clear your mind and be willing to at least listen to what might be an opposing party. And maybe that's what Joseph is doing, that he's given himself 3 days to cool off. And originally, the idea was, I'm going to send one of you and hold the rest. He calms down. He says, okay, I'm going to send all of you back home because I know your family's hungry. Take some food back to your families. I'll keep one of you. He immediately grabs Shimon because he's the most well-known hothead of the bunch. And he keeps him in prison. And he has to be asking himself, will they betray Benjamin the way they betrayed me? He's my own flesh and blood brother, full brother. Will they do to him what they did to me? Will they sacrifice him for themselves? Yah is about the restoration of the house of Israel with the house of Yehudah. Will we betray one another, or will we listen and look for healing? So for those that are going to be celebrating Hanukkah tonight, the first night, may your celebrations be wonderful, your families be encouraged, and may your temples truly be dedicated. And we'll see you again tomorrow. To the shalom.